the computer, um, so what we did was to assign an empty list. So this empty list, the reason why we're assigning the empty list to use it as a global list, and also to use it as a global list so that we can have access to the list of display element both inside and outside our functions. Then what we did here was to create a variable called word underscore len. What this word underscore len is doing is calculating the total words that the computer generated. So this len will return an integer which calculates the total numbers of letters that is in that words. Let's say, for instance, we have like camel. In this camel, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. What the length will do is to calculate each letter 1, 2, 3, 4. That will give us total numbers of 5 as an integer. To number 9, because it is a because it is not just one letter that the computer is generating, it's generating many letters. So what we need to do in order to have this letter individually printed, so we need to loop inside this computer choosing word using the empty string called L. So this L here is an empty string that will represent each letter. So whenever the computer runs, it will print out the A. When it runs again, it print out arrow. When it runs again, it print out D. When it runs again, it print out V, and so on and so forth. Then here we have for L in range. We have been emphasizing about the range. Like I told you, the range is a method that will um, that would that would print out the calculation of number from from the starting to the stopping to the stop, right? Then the starting, let me elaborate more on this. Let's say, for instance, you add about 10 or 20 words here. So what the range would do is to create the range of numbers between 0 to 19, right? Between 0 to 19. So that is why we have here. And range can only use in integer. So if you look at this place, what we have here is word length. Like I told you, what this word length returns an integer of the total length of the letters that we have here, which will be counted based on each letter stand for 1. So we pass in the word length here. So this word length is an integer, like I said. The range here is a function. So what this range will do is that it will run from 0 to this number, let's say to 4. So that 0 to 4, whenever it runs the first camel, instead of printing the C, what we want you to print is the empty string. Then if you run again, it will now call this empty string and add it in this display list um, display list that we have. So let's assume that here we have total numbers of 5 words. So those total numbers are 5 words will give you total numbers of 5 string, because whenever it runs, it adds this in the stream, it runs again, it adds in the stream until it's done. On line 11, what we did here was to print out for debugging purpose, to print out the display to know what we are having here. Then line 12, we have what we call the get variable. So in this get variable, we call an input. Of course, we will know the functionality of an input is to allow us to type to type some string in the terminal. So that's what it does. Then inside here we have a stream that will uh, direct the user on what to do, which is guess a letter. So in this guess a letter, we have dot lower. And the reason why we added this dot lower is to avoid uh, having bug in our code. If a user, for instance, we are using lowercase to compare whatever the user have entered. Let's say the user enters C, and here we notice here we only have lowercase all through, and the user enter the capital C. There is no way this can be able to work because capital C and small c are not the same in computer interpretation, and also in variable interpretation. So it's necessary that we have a uniform A. If you type capital A, what will show there will be lower A. Now, what we did next is to loop into the range. So just call to loop into the range. Remember, I told you here we have the length. So the length here return integer. This integer is the total length of the word the computer generated. You can see it here. We assign it a variable. So to get the position, right? To get the position of that word, let's say each word, to get that position, we are going to use position. So the position is like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If you the computer generate camel, for instance, so whenever it runs the first one, the position will be 1. If you run again, the position will be 2. If you run again, the position will be 3. So here we are getting the position by their numbers. Remember, in a list, if you want to access a particular index, if you want to access a particular index in a list, you use a word integers, right? From 0 to 1. So that's why we have this position to help us get the position of each of these element that string that we've created. So we did for post in range. So that means for position in range word length, whenever you print it, position will be 1, 2, 3 until it get to the maximum numbers. Then letters equals to choosing word. Now remember here we have the choosing word, right, as a choice, which is storing the whatever the computer have generated, right? So if you call in that word, then we pass in the position, which is the number. So that the way you want to access your array, you can decide to type number 4 here or number 5. It will only give you the number 5 of whatever you have called. So what is happening here is that this is a integer from 0 to 1. So let's say as we run the code, then when you run the code, the first thing it's going to do is to pass in 0 here. You run the code again, pass in 1 here. And if whatever you are choosing, whatever you choose, the position you choose is A, you have the position as well as an A. So what we did here is to print the letter word. Now, this is what we did. We did what we call comparison expression. On line 17, we use an if statement and check if word letters. What is word letter? Which is um, um, which is what the user have typed in here, right? Word letter. Let's say, for instance, here we have the computer generated camel, and we have a word letter of 0, right? Or 0. Now the computer will check if this word letter, that the letter which is here, which is 0, which stands for C, which is C, whatever position the computer have gotten, that C is equals to the guess. And whatever they use, the position that the array have been able to generate is equals to whatever the user have typed, right? And this is where it's very, very important, and we need to be very careful here. If you have uppercase here and you have lowercase as what the computer have generated, that will not work, right? So we say if word letters is equals to guess. So what this means is that if the word letter, which is the letter here, and of course this book are the word letter, but here we are not getting it as a camel, but we are getting it as an indentation, right? If word letter, which is indentation, let's say indentation of 3 and 5, right? Indentation of 5. So what the computer will do is to check if this is 5, this is C, and check, compare it to what we are typing. And if it's similar to what the computer has been able to get, then what we are going to do is to display position, right? So in this display position, remember the position is 3, right? In this list, look at what we did here. In this man, we now sign the letters, which is this man, right? We now sign what? This letter. Remember, if you run in the first one, you are going to have the letter. The letter you are going to have is letters, not all the words. When you run the code, what you are going to have here is what the computer printed is in this letter is C. So, and the C is inside that word, you are going to get the C. So the C is what record these letters. So these are letters, letter underscore words. So these are not words, but are letter. So this is like a brief overview. So the final one, what we did there was to print out the display to show whatever that we have done. You can see we call it outside the function. So apparently this is what we did last week, and I decided to take my time to do a review of what we have done so that you can have a very clearer knowledge on how this application works. So any question, please? Any question? Any questions? Can you guys hear me?
No question, sir. No question. Understood.
I give you people assignment, also nobody will complain. No issue.
It's understood.
All right, let's fire down. So let's quickly run the code. So let me type B. So you can see what the computer generated here is B, and B is number what? 0, 1, 2, which is bamboo, right? Then this is what we did the last time. So like I said earlier, this class is going to be very interactive. It's going to be an interactive section to brainstorm and see what we will be coming out with. All right, so let's move ahead. So who can tell us briefly on what next to do, please? I thought it's going to be an interactive class. Are we together? Hello? Hello?
Joining them together as one word,
Is that?
as a string.
Is that what? I didn't hear you.
I said joining them together as a string. Because right now they're... Hello?
I can hear you.
I said joining them together because right now they are just different strings in a list. So we need to join them together as a single string. Oh, our network is bad.
Okay, who can help me? You can help us, please.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I said that the next thing to do is to join them together, the list, all the strings in the list, join them together to form one string.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's fire them, please.
We can see it. I can see it.
Okay, so Chidima, you were saying something, please. Chichi?
I said that the next thing is to join them together to form one string. Because right now there are different strings in a list. So we need them. We need to put them together and to form one string.
Okay, that is fine. Who else again can suggest? Hmm? Who can suggest now? Please, let's have one family now. One house, nigga. One house, please. Hmm? Okay, nobody saying anything. Right. You people will say my other color. If I give you people tax and you did not do it, we go fight too. Better fight like this. I know what I'm saying. No. All right. Now, Chidima make a valid point, but I don't feel like. See, we are software engineers. Software engineer is all about problem solving. You cannot call yourself a software engineer, spend about 1 year in this course, and at the end, you will not be able to solve a problem. Now, when we look at this app, we are having one issues that we need to tackle. Like Chidema said before, even before we solve Chidema own issues, right? Like our suggestion, we need to tackle one thing. And what is that one thing? Let me run this app again. I run this app and I type a particular number, sorry, a particular stuff, and then there's no place for me to type again. That's number one issue.
Okay.
And you see, when I give people projects, so how do we fix that? Who can tell us, like, what we plan to do? I'm coming. What we plan to do is we want to always guess, like let the guess button always come out until when we have been able to fill up all the gap, or we've been able to lost our life, right? So who can give us a hint on how to go about this?
Should I go ahead?
Yeah.
Or we can make use of while loop, in the sense that why the length of the word length, why the word length is not up to the corresponding length, then you should keep asking for the letter. The letter will depend on the word, depend on the choosing word. Then the choosing word have a length on its own. Then we have to make use of while loop corresponding with that length, that if the length is not yet up to that specific amount of letters, then you should keep prompting for input, which is gets input from the user. Then then we can attach it with the number of lives we want to use. Let's assume the life is five, so we can use it together. So it should just be like why the guess is lesser than the corresponding length of the letter, or the life is less than specific amount we choose. Then you should keep prompting.
Okay. Anybody with any other suggestion? Okay, I think you made a valid point there. Yeah. So we are going to use while loop. So let's go to the next step. This next step is to use a while loop, right? Is to use a while loop. So let's come to this place. We need to refactor our code. Yeah. So let's come to this place. So what we are going to do here is outside here we are going to say have a variable called and end, right? Underscore end. Okay, let's just use end game. End underscore game, right? So end of the underscore game equals to false. Now the reason why we're having this end underscore game equals to 4, remember while loop, you cannot just so we want a situation where if the end game is equals to true, the loop should start repeating the code. So let's have step what is this? 7, abi? So say in this step 7 we can see the user guess again, right? So okay, let's say, okay, sorry, we say we have use a while loop to let, okay, so let's say use a while loop to let the user guess again. The loop should only stop when the user has guessed all the letter in the chosen word. Are you communicating? So it should only stop when the letter once the user has guessed all the letter in the chosen word, right? In the chosen all the letters in the chosen word, right? Then and so we're gonna and like, sorry, so and display chosen words and okay, and has no more blank, then you will tell the user they have won, right? So what we want to do here is very simple. Anybody have anything to say? Who is raising his hand? Anything? Okay, let's move on, please. So what we are going to do, like I listed here, so the step 7 is use a while loop to let the user guess again. So when the user have guessed the first one, use a while loop to let the user guess again. Then the loop should only stop when the user has guessed all the letters in the choosing all the letter in the choosing this should be the choosing this should be in the choosing word. So which is this word here? Let me scroll up. In the choosing word, and display, and the display has no more blank, right? Which is this. Then you can tell the computer the user has what has won. So that's what we are going to do. So what we are going to do is
Sir, I have a question. When do we implement the live issue?
Then we'll do that step by step.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have to do this while see why not game. Now why not game, right? So why not game here means that if the gain n is not false, right? So gain n, when the gain n is false, right? If why not the game end, that means if it is true, if it is false, right? Why not? Yeah, why not is true, right? It's true or false.
It's true. Why not game? That's why true.
Okay, why true? So why not game? That means if the game is not false, right? Right?
According to what you have here, you have end game as false. Why not
Yes.
end game if it is true?
Good. Okay, good and fine. So if this is true, so what's going to happen is that let's bring all these things, then index all these things from A to Z, right? We're going to index, this, only this. So we're going to bring this input because why not true? That means the game, um, if the game has not ended, are you getting me? If the game has not ended, that means why not true. So if you will say why this, it means that if the game is false, that's get him if the game is false, but we are not want to do that. What we want to do is what we want to do here is why not, right? So this why not will check if the game end is false, right? As far as it's true, if this is true, it should keep running this code, right? So let's try that and see what we are going to have. And I put A, then you can see because it's still false, we'll be given access to another letter to write, and that letter to write. So now what we want to do here is that we um want to bring up this one again up. Good. Right. Want to bring one. So let me remove this position I'm printing. So this so we can good. Then we also need to bring all this top here. All right. So all this will have to be okay. Then we also need to print out this man. So this code will be running consistently until where we've been able to finish up everything that we have here. Bring it out a little. So we just need to index this. So what it means is that why not end game? So why this one is true, right? It will keep running this code. So let's stop this here and get rid of this. So I put B. You can see it will run to this place, right? And then it's asking us to type again, and I type C. Then I type again. I type again. So I type again. So why is true? Let it keep repeating itself, right? Then good. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to check if there are no more line left in the display list, then all user and all the letter has been guessed in the user. So this is what I'm going to do, because now we are not checking if there is still space, in this list. Are you getting me? If there's still space, I think there is an error here. I think I'm having a okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, all right. So try again. B. All right. So what we are, like I told you, what we are going to do here is to check if this page is filled up, right? To know when this page is filled up. Then when it's filled up, you should be able to see what we can do. So let's go up. So use a while loop to let the user guess again. The loop should only stop when the user has guessed all the letters in the chosen word and display has no more blank, right? Then you can tell the user they have won. So what we are going to do here next is to check. So we say check um, if all if the user has all the letters, right? If a user this should be if the user if they are if there are okay, if there are no more letter left in the display, then all letter has been guessed, right? So we need to check. Now, who can tell us how to check this? How to check this? Who can tell us? Okay.
So hey, I was having something in mind. I've been putting my hand up to ask since.
You sure?
On that, I say I had something in mind. I was raising my hand up to ask you since.
Okay, what is it?
Under that while statement,
Mm.
what if we do that while not game if display has that blank, then it should now run that code.
If
I
display
don't know if
have
you
the
understand what I'm
if the
That's
display
why not blank
uh,
if display, that's if blank in display, then it should now request do this for stuff.
and do what? Explain, elaborate more. I'm not getting clear.
Okay, from line 13,
Mm.
why not end game?
Mm-hmm.
The next line should be if blank in display,
Mm-hmm.
then it now asks you for guess equal to input, guess a letter. Then we start doing the for stuff to the end. I think that will solve the problem. That's why not end game. The next line should be if blank in display, then it should run this code from line 14 to 19.
Mm.
Why not end game? If we check that condition, if
Okay,
blank in
okay.
display,
Let me clear.
then it
So
runs
so
that
what
code.
to say if um this
That means that means you should have declared a blank before asking if there is blank in the display now.
Even if you don't declare, you can still use it there like that.
look at it there. This is
Okay.
the display. The display already have the blank. I will already display if blank in display.
So that blank should be in single quotes since we are checking the quotes too.
Which of the blank?
The line 14, what you have in quotes should be in single. You know what you have in quotes is a string, including those single quotes.
What I'll be using is double quote, not single quote. What I use in the
Yeah,
blank here
what I'm
is
saying is everything should be in single quote because we are checking for the double quotes too.
if you use single quote, it's not going to work now.
Okay, let's declare it. It'll be better if we declare it so that we
Guys,
don't
there's no way you
make
are declaring it because the blank already have it here. Look at where we are incrementing it.
Yes, that is a blank quote
Uh-huh.
hyphen quote,
Uh-huh.
quote hyphen quote, and which is a string.
Which of them?
So if you want to, the quote hyphen quote
Yes. This
is
one,
a
right?
string. So if we want to compare it here now, we're comparing it as a string. So put it in another quote, and that another quote will be single quote.
No, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. You don't need to put in another quote. Because you put in another quote. If you put in another quote,
A single quote in this case.
if you put in a single quote, this will not work. Yes. If you put in a single quote, this will not work. So that is it. So you cannot go and, for instance, you go and write Michael, and now go and write Michael with capital letter. It will not going
No,
to work.
no, that single quote you are using now will not be read by this quote as a part of the statement you are using. It's reading it as a string.
What is the single
As a
quote I'm using? What number?
Now, just put this thing in single quote. This line 14 now. This quote dash quote. Just put it in single quote
Why did you want me to put it in single quote?
because we already have a quote there.
What is the quote?
This quote I'm seeing here. I don't know if somebody's understanding what I'm saying.
Terence, are you referring to the quote in line 10 before the hyphen? We're having quote at the beginning and at the end. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Actually, in line 14, we are only searching for the hyphenation, not
Okay,
the
just
quote itself.
explanation. Okay, not the quote. Okay, in that case,
Yes.
let's continue. Let's continue.
Okay.
Okay, continue.
So what we are going to do here is, if this quote, because of course it's already here, is in display. So if that is the case, that means we need to run another indentation. So highlight all this and then tap use your tab. I think that would, okay, that will give us what we want. So let's check that up, and then we also need to um okay, we hold on. Mm, this will not work if this in this. This will not work. This will not work. Now, do you know why I say this will not work?
No, sir.
Because we want in a situation where if all this form has been filled up, it should turn this man to true and then tell the user
You
you
can
have.
now put an else. You can now put an else after the block.
Hold on. I'm trying to check something. If this in the display, okay. So what we need to do is s s
The print on top has to shift one step to the right.
no, where the print is okay.
The print is inside the if.
S
So it's because of that print. It's inside the if.
what is this? Mm, okay. let's say if that is the end, then let's print something. All right, so let's print something. So what we are doing here is that if this man is here, right, then it should run all this code, or else it should tell you print wrong. So let's do that to have this. Okay.
So the else should be the same line as the first if.
Okay, you have to be on this first if here. You have to be on this first if. Okay. Okay. Let's run this. All right. B A C B. B A. Okay. This will not work. Never. Because this will not work. This is still under while loop. Let me show something. Okay, let's do something. If that is the case, let's turn this game to false, to true, and see. All right, so if you turn this to true and then print this. All right, let's try that again. So if this equals to, if blank is in this, it should run this code, else it should turn it to false. So this true will automatically terminate this while loop and then print the result once. So let's check that out. Run this. So we have B, nope, A. Let me check what this man.
Camel.
That should be C M E. Okay. So be able to get that, like our brother said earlier. So what we did here is that if the blank is in the display, should keep running this. Then if not, it should return what we call false. So this thing can only stop running if this man, the end game is true. So here end game is false. So if end game is not false, right? If end game is not if end game is not false, let it run in, or else if the end game is true, then let it run and tell us error. So instead of telling us error, so what we are going to do here, we say the user one, right? So
You won.
yeah, you won. So what we did here is to check if there is no more empty space left in display, then all the letters should have a case number. So apparently, let's move ahead to the next agenda. So who can tell us next thing to do? Next.
I think the next thing to do is to attach live to our game. We attach live to where we are using the underscore to check if it still remain in the words. Why I said we should add that to that place is that we are using two things as a criteria to end our game. Is either we accomplish the we fill up the empty space in our words to complete the letter, or the life ended, our trial ended. So either of the two will result in either the game will be won or the game will be end without winning. So we still have to join life to this one. This next thing is to have a number of trial, which I call a life.
Okay.
To
Life.
the game.
Who next? Who next can tell us? Who next? Who can tell us next? Who can help us? Who can help
Sorry, sir, the
us?
question was not clear.
Look, I'm saying that what next are we going to do on this game? What next are we going to do on the game, please? Bring your suggestions. Very important. Don't be just the hero of the world. Be the doer.
When the user completes all the letters in the word,
Mm.
it should tell the user immediately that he has won, and maybe print out the whole letter at once.
I didn't get.
When the user completes, that's inputs the last letter, and he wins, the last letter is actually correct, he should tell the user he has won and print the whole word.
I didn't get. So I didn't get. Help me out, at least break it down a little.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get your question.
I say, what next are we going to write on the game?
Okay, I guess if the user get all the user guests are all this thing right, so that means you should print out the game one, and on after printing out the game one, then below you should have like play on another game or play a second time or something like that. Because I think I've seen games like this before, that either if you can move to the next stage, if they okay, or move to level one, or move to level two, or move to level three. But in this scenario that we don't have another level, so it's just for the user to replay the game again. And now I think on our list we have about three different words. That means we can make it like stage by stage. After the user gets the first word right, you move to the next stage where it will get the second word right. After that, you move to the next stage where it will get the third word right, according to what we have here.
Hello, sir. Can I
Okay.
add to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Just like the guy said earlier, we have two modes of completing the game, which can be either guessing all the letters or running out of life. So I think what we should do now, since we've come up with how to guess all the letters, what we and end the game when we arrive at the answer, what we should do next is to add that live option to it, and we can do that by declaring a variable. And since from the instruction I think we are supposed to have 5 attempts or 5 lives, so we should have a variable and maybe name it live or lives left, and we initialize it to 5. So kind of say like life is equal to 5, and then inside that while loop, we also have, if you can scroll up, let me see where that while loop starts from.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So if we have why, if we first declare that live and as initialize it to 5, and then we have why not end game and life greater than 0. So we are now having two conditions there. If the game is still running, and if life is greater than 0. So since life is already 5, so that means if we have life greater than 0, that means each time it loops, it will now be 1. The second time it loops, 2. The third time it loops, no, I think that will be incrementing. We can say, and life is, life is greater than 0. That's what it should be. So with that, either the user guesses the words correctly or they run out of life to end the game.
Okay. I think that is
And in addition, I have something to add
okay.
to what Francis just says now. In addition, according to the program instruction, once we are losing a life, we are drawing a diagram.
Yeah.
We should take note of that. We are drawing the diagram.
Exactly.
So, in the while loop, like he said, that why not end game, and the life is lesser than, or is lesser than 0, as I said. Then inside our body, the function body here, inside our code, then every iteration we should be deducting or adding. If you use life lesser than 0, then we are adding 1 to life each time we are running the code, so that it can be at a specific. In fact, it should be life. Let's say we want to use 5 life now. It should be life. Life should be equals to 5. Then while we are using the while loop, it should be life lesser than lesser than 5, or not equals to 0. So each time we are deducting life from each iteration, then life will eventually be at 0. And once it has 0, it should give us a game over. And each time we are deducting life, we should keep drawing our emoji or picture. I don't know what we used in the other class, but I think it's one certain skeleton or something. I don't know, but we should keep drawing it one after the other. That is what I want to add to what Francis said.
Okay. Wow.
Sorry, sir. I want to say something. Like, the guy, are you a gamer? Do you play game very well?
Of course, I do.
Okay, so, and if you play game very well, you know that if you are playing game, this kind of game doesn't warrant life. It warrants time, like timer. Do you understand?
I know.
This kind of game doesn't warrant life. It warrants timer. And if I'm building this kind of game, you have to build it in a sequence that it uses time. It times the individual. Do you understand what I'm saying? This word now is not something that you are going for on a mission, or it's not something that is a car race or arcade games. Do you understand what I'm saying? So all these kind of games requires timer. If peradventure if I using, you can use like, okay, say 60 seconds. That is, you have 60 seconds to get these words right. That would be a better scenario for the game than using life.
You are right. You are right, but the funnest aspect is that we are not the one who created the instruction. We have to follow the instruction given to us, madam. Madam.
That guy, even the example, the link that Mr. Skyline sent to us, there is life.
There is no time. There is life. There is no time. There is no timer there.
But you can modify your game difficulty if you want to select difficulty. You can add a timer.
Yes, to your problem. I said he's right. I'm not disputing. I said he's right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not disputing the fact of the life in the game, but I'm trying to give you a better scenario as a gamer.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying.
Doesn't warrant life. That's what I'm just trying to make you to understand.
It's not a mission game, so it should have a timer, so that you know how smart you are to guess the words. I understand.
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that the instruction Skyline gave us here doesn't have such thing. So it's all depend on him.
Saying, but he's asking questions like, he's asking questions like, what is the next level? What are we to do next? So that is just my suggestion.
I know. I think the question is pertaining to the guidelines we wrote last time before we start this program, before we start this application. He gave us steps to take, maybe 1 to 7 or 1 to 9. I don't remember the actual number. So I think that is what he's asking. But we can add any other thing. It's good now. We learn.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Hi, Chief.
Hi, Chief, sir.
I don't finish.
We don't finish, sir.
Okay. This is not shaded. Okay. All right. So what we are going to do next, to, first is to okay. So we need to create a variable called life, right? So where are we doing that? Where are we doing that? Where are we doing that? So let me do that. Let me do that at the top. Okay, let me do that here. Right. So let me do that here. So what we are going to do next. Okay. So here we're going to create a variable called life. Then to keep. All right. So we are going to create a variable called life to keep track of the numbers of life left. Set life to equals to 0. So the life will be equals to 0. Life will be equals to 6 rather. So or like 6. Right. So I'm giving them 6. I can reduce this to 3. So another thing we also want to do is that whenever um, so what we need to do next is the second one is that if the okay, so if the guess is not a letter in the chosen word, then reduce the life by 1. Abi, if the life goes down, if the life goes down to 0, then the game should stop and it should print you have lost. So what we're also going to do here is to I think this is the last stage, is to join all the elements into stream, right? To join all the element into stream. Why the other one is we should have something like we'll print print the as are you giving me any suggestion? All right. So print art from stage that corresponded to the current number of the life the user has remaining. So I feel that that's what we are going to do. Please lower down your mute your mic if you're not speaking, please. Hello. Can you lower down your mic, please? You don't have to. Okay, so this variable life we use to store the life of the user. So let's start implementing. What are we going to implement now? So what we are going to do is to get to as.uk. We want this platform. I'm going to look for they don't even give me anything. How can I look for the one I will need now? Go. Mm, mm. They don't. This cancer don't even have search where somebody can search something. They will be this side and now I'm going to support a user. So I have to be scrolling every time and long live. Mm, let me say house. Okay, I want to get this. So this one, if somebody won, this is what you're going to see. So I also get it and put it here. 1 equals to, sorry, so I'm going to use multiple comments to put this here. All right. So the next one I'm going to do is lossing of life. Lossing of life. I will say life. Hope I see. Olive. Don't know what to do again. Let's try this arrow. Okay, let's use this. Let's use this. So yeah, I'll have stage. So on this stage, I'm going to have a list because it's not going to be only one. Of course, I have this here. Let me have like 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. So put this here. So if a life is lost, remove this on this stage, right? Let a life is lost, remove all this on the first stage. So let's go to second stage. If another life is lost, remove this one, right? Then copy this. If another life is lost,
Sorry, sir, I can't see what you are doing.
You cannot see my screen.
I
Okay,
see
I'm
your
just
screen.
saying, I cannot see what you are doing. I cannot see what you're doing.
Can't you guys
Boss, it's your network.
your network?
We can see your screen.
Right. So so if another one is lost, please restart your network. Yeah, you can come back. Remove this one. I'll remove this one. If the final one is lost, we can run this game over. All right, so you can see we have one stage. Put comma. When you are done, make sure you put comma. One stage. Let me start from here. This is one stage, comma. The two stage, comma. Three stage, comma. Four stage, comma, and five stage. All right, so it's becoming too rowdy here. So what we are going to do, we'll see how we can build model. Build model and add all these files there so that our code will not be too large. So we have 3 live here. Let's do with 3 for now. You can increase it later. All right, so what we are going to do next, what are we going to do next? Okay, let's check. So we are going to do we're going to do something. So we have been able to create a variable, right? And then also create each stages of our variable. So what we are going to do is that let's come up here. So we say if the guess is not in the letter, so we have done this, so let's remove this. So if the guess is not in a letter in the chosen word, then reduce the life by 1. So that is what we are going to do. So what we are going to do here is that we're going to do this if guess in life okay, we are going to do another if statement, right? We're going to do another if statement. So that if statement will be have to be under while loop. So inside this while loop, we are going to say as if
So what if we add why not end game and life is greater than 0 before we do the if and then the why, the if stuff, the if statements.
I didn't get. Come again.
From as in the while loop, we add let me see the while loop.
This is while loop.
Why not end game and lives is greater than 0? Then we'll continue with our configuration.
Okay. So
Line 105.
Life is greater
than 0.
I didn't understand that. Like, explain what.
While not end game, that's while the game is still on and you still have life. So we can then add that the if statement that you want to add, you can then add them in there.
Yeah, you're right, but why are you not sure? So what would see? Think of what we want to do. That is not what we want to do. What we want to do, we want to check inside that while loop, right? We want to check if the letter the user gets is not in the chosen word, chosen letter. Like if what the user gets is not here, Are you getting me? Because we want to check, you can only lose life if whatever the user guess is not inside what the computer have generated. It's not in the chosen word now, like the chosen word. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you understand. We don't want to check the life now. We want to check if what the user.
So sorry, sir.
Yeah.
So if I get you right, what you're saying is that when the user imputes a letter from the total words and that letter is incorrect,
Yes.
so
Lose a life.
the user should lose, that is, the gamer should lose one life.
Yes.
Okay, so that should be a decrement now. We are to decrement if the user misses.
You need to check first now. You need to
If
check
the
first.
imputed this thing word later is incorrect, so they should decrement by one life.
You need to, before you decrement, you need to check. You do your check first. No be so.
Yes.
So that's what we want to do now. But the structure of this code. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I think I have an idea. I have an idea. Okay, let's do it here. You can say if s s if let's do this if instead of if the user guess which is this is not in the chosen word, which is this word, which is this word, right? If it is not there, which is when the user get like A or B. If what the user is not there, so what we are going to do, we are going to say life equals to -1, right? So this equals to -1, we are doing it like life equals to life -1. So which one do you prefer? Do you prefer this or do you prefer this? Which of them?
The first one.
Equals to -1.
Okay.
First one equals to -1.
Okay. So this should.
Isn't it meant to be life minus equal to 1?
Life minus equal to 1.
Minus equal to 1.
Life minus equal to 1. That was supposed to be not equals to minus. Yeah. Life minus equals to 1. So this will deduct life from here, right? So then the next thing is
Sorry, sir.
yeah.
Sorry, sir. I have a question. Look at line 111, line 111.
Okay.
It states that if word letters equal to guess, we're already checking if the guess the user inputted is there. So why didn't we just come to line 114 and say else? Life minus equal to 1.
Just hold on.
Because we're already checking
Or else,
on line
else if,
111.
else if.
Yeah, just like if else. I've checked the if condition that if the guess exists, then it should run line 112 and line 113. Then else, that means if the guess does not exist, we should reduce your life by 1.
If this is because no, what we are checking here is different from what we are checking here. This is checking the letter.
That's to shorten the code.
No, this is
Exactly.
checking the letter. This is checking the word. It's not the same. Are you getting me? Are you getting me?
No, sir.
This here is checking the letter using the chosen word position. Are you getting me? So this is checking
Yes,
the
sir.
guess. If the guess is equals to if the chosen word what the user have printed. Remember, user is only printing one. Are you getting me? Right? Why they have a lot of words here. So me, what I'm doing here is to check if the guess word is not in the chosen word, which is the guess word is not in the chosen word, you should lose a life. But however, like you said, you can implement it on your own. You understand? You don't necessarily need to follow. There are more than 1,000 ways of achieving the same thing. So for me, I feel that I feel that I want to do it there. So if you want to rechange the code, you can write the code uh, that fits. You don't necessarily need to follow my pattern. So you need to get your own pattern of writing your own code. So we also need to check to see the life. So here we can come here and say if life is equals to 0, then we should have um we should have we should have uh, then if that equals to 0, we should end the loop. Oh, actually, I thought the one finished. Okay. So what we
It's still printing double for A.
is it not? It's not printing double. It's no longer printing double. Let's confirm that again. So you print blue. Can see it's printing only one. So if I put the one that's dead here, okay.
The B is coming 2 times now.
Uh,
BB.
so B is there. It's already there the first time. Just that here is it. It is printing. Okay, let's check something. Wait. If you run this, this should only print one. Okay, I think that's what it's supposed to be. That's what's supposed to be. Print only one. It's supposed to be
Yes.
that's what's supposed to be. So let me run down on this code and then let's try to win a user. Before that, let's win a user first before I run down the code again and explain further. A arrow D V A
K, sir, K.
okay, you win. So I also want to print this man. Yeah, so this you win. So that should be on this. So here I'm going to print the win, and then so yeah, we'll see winner. Okay, let's try that again. So A arrow D arrow okay. What
V.
V? All right, can see congratulations, you win, right? Congratulations, you win. All right, so let me run down the code again, and before I give assignment, and then before I another thing I want to do is to I want to refactor the code. I want to refactor the code before I wrap it up for the day. Just refactor the code because the code is too much. So let's see how you
So
can.
wouldn't there be an option to ask the user if they want to play again?
You can add that on your own. Sir.
Okay.
So I think it's easy to come here and be cracking my brain. Crack my brain on writing code. So the code is much. So we just need to reduce the code. So imagine like you are writing different function of game. This will be more than 20,000 line of code. That means it will be tricky even to maintain the code. So what we are going to do here is let me explain what we've done. So what we did here is to import random. Then we created a one variable that this can only work when user won the game. Then we move down to this page. We create a list of stages. So each stages we can print this. Then of course you all know what the function of this. Then our lives. Then the display list. So this is the list that we use for displaying. I'll really explain all this. Now let me go to the main thing. So we said if uh, this particular element is in display, which is here, so it should just keep allowing us to guess, right? Then or else it should stop the while loop and then print 1. Are we together? So
Yep.
next thing we also did here is to say if guess is not in choosing word, that means if what the user gets is not in the word the computer have chosen, it should minus 1 life from the life variable that we have, and then it should print you have the total numbers of that life left. Then should print the stage of life that you are. So this stage of life here, this life is a number that we've set in here. We're able to set in this live is that live this is the number we're going to set in here. So if you type in this code, run this code, the first thing we're going to print is 1. So if you have 1 life, so what you're going to print here is the life that you have. If it's 2, you're going to print number 2 of whatever that we have in here in this list. I hope you are communicating. So then here we check if the life is equals to 0, it should stop running the game, and then it should print the stage 4, which is the game over, which is what we have here, which is this game over for us. So that is apparently that is the game, and this is what we're going to do now, right? The game is much. I'm giving you guys assignment. Now, what assignment am I giving you guys? Number one assignment in this code. I want you to create a Python module, right? So we create one Python module. So number one Python module will have the code for the stage. Are you getting me? It should not be here. So you need to come here and create a model where you store this code here, right? Everything inside here will be stored on this stage. Now create another Python module that will have this word, this. So this should not be 3 words. This should be 200 random words. The guy, are you hearing me? The guy.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Chidema too. So you have, when you don't, post it on the leadership group and send it to the president as well. So number one assignment is that on this application, on this game that we've been able to build, right? On this game that we've been able to build. So on this game that we've been able to build, I want you to split this code into different modules. So number one is that this particular word list, you need to split it into different modules, right? And then install that different modules. So what we are going to do, even this random word, from here, listen to me. From here should be inside one module. Now, and this should be 200 words, not just one forward, 200 different words. This is what should be inside that module. Then what you need to do to, when you want to use this module, come here and import. The way you import the random and import it. This one also will be on a different module, right? On a different module. Why when you come here, this one here, the stage will be in a different module. The stage itself will be in a different module. Why this and this here will be in a different module? But like I told you, this should be 200 words. And then every other thing you import. Then okay, that is it. Then assignment number 2. You guys are going to build a game, a very serious game. Now, assignment number 2 is to build a snake game, and that snake game should look like this snake. Are we communicating?
Yes, sir.
Yes, a snake game. Let me explain the game you guys are going to build. And because of this assignment, we are not going to have class on Sunday. You are to submit this assignment, the defense of this assignment that I gave you now. How many assignment do we have now to defend?
We have 3.
Okay. Now the game, there is a package in Python you can use to develop a game, a snake game. Do the research. A snake game will look like this snake. This is not just a normal snake. You when you do it to play it, you see it in your system. You can use your keyboard to build it. When you play it, you see it in your system. I repeat, the code base, you have the code on your normal repository. But this snake game, when we play that game, we should see it in your system. You can use keyboard or mouse to play the game. Remember, it's similar with the game we are currently building. Are we communicating? Are we
Yes, sir.
communicating? Good.
Yes, sir.
Now, what are the game we are going to build? Let me explain. You are to build a snake game. So this snake game should have obstacles around, and they should be able to predict when there is an obstacle in the front and when there is obstacle in the left. So you use your mouse or your keyboard to control the game, and there should be sound on the game. So that's the assignment you guys are going to build. Now this assignment, there is what?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get the last assignment.
Okay, I said you're going to build a game, a snake game. This snake game you have Nokia touch, Nokia. Are you getting me? So that game that you guys are building should run on desktop, not on terminal, on desktop. The way you will play a normal game, it should run on desktop. You guys have to do research on an app that you can use to build a game with Python that will run on desktop. There are a lot of packages, very simple. Then do it. If you have UI, every member must do it and submit. So when are you guys starting this game? We're not going to have class on Sunday.
Are you saying, sir, sorry, are you saying individually, not a group thing?
A cohort now, which one be a cohort? But every individual will come and present. And remember the new rules. If somebody in your cohort were not able to present, that person will be fine. If you guys are
Okay.
presenting and they ask the person to come and present, I doesn't know the code, it will be fine.
All
2,000
right.
naira. Good.
All
So
right.
any code that didn't present that failed to turn off representation is 8K. Now, the this thing starts tomorrow. Then the defense will be on the 12th of of uh, of the 12th, which is Monday. Well, no, the defense will be, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the defense, the defense will start. Okay, we'll have a new topic. Our new topic will resume on the 11th of August, which is on Sunday. That one we are having a new topic. Why the defense is on the 12th, 13, 15, 16. Why 14th is our class? So we are resuming class on the 11th. On the 11th of August. Today is 1st, right? Today is 31st. That tomorrow is 1st. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to defend, to carry out this assignment. On the 11th is our new class. Then 12, 13, 14, 16 is our project defense for this particular game. This game, all the project that you have asked to build, we are going to defend that project that day. So each cohort have 30 minutes of presentation. Each cohort have 30 minutes of presentation. So we can use 2-3 hours to finish up like 2 or 3 cohorts or so. Now, so that is the game you guys are going to build and integrate it. So any question?
Yes, sir. You didn't give us time for protesting.
To do what?
To protest.
Concern me concern protest. If I don't go protest, when I go protest.
Hunger dey our land.
You think the country Nigeria will change by protest? Nigeria will not change. Don't you go and kill yourself. I don't tell you. I don't want to lose anybody. With the betting, hustle your way out. Hustle it out and use that time for your programming.
Sir, if